It's Bulletproof Monday, and I hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Susan Sly, and today we're going to talk about how to shift your emotional state that fast. That's right. It doesn't matter if you are a CEO, a coach, an entrepreneur, a mom, a dad, a human being. It doesn't matter. There are going to be times when you've got a lot of balls in the air, stress is really intense, and you've got to show up. Because if you don't show up, you don't make money, you don't produce, and things get a little tricky. So I'm going to share with you the technique that not only I use, but the entrepreneurs in my life use as well, to shift their state so quickly that they can go forward and do what they need to do. Does that sound good? So we're going to get into it. And for those of you who are new to Bulletproof Monday, I want to acknowledge you. Last Monday, I apologize. We had a technical difficulty, but it doesn't happen often. Sometimes it does. Got to embrace technology. But on Bulletproof Mondays, my goal is to inspire you, a business owner or someone who wants to grow a business, to help you become bulletproof. And how do we do that? So it's the tactics and the mindset that really make you unstoppable. And so before we get into today's training, just a couple of quick announcements. I have an event coming up. I am beyond excited. Only 4 days. I have the experts I consult to for Facebook marketing. Dennis Yu is coming. Instagram optimization. Kieran O'Brien is coming. I have YouTube experts. I have experts in funnel building. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And imagine, you know how you go to an event and you take all these notes and then you snap all the slides with your camera, you know what I'm talking about, right? And then you get back and you have a massive to-do list and all the things you committed to doing at the event, you just never get around to doing them. Well, at only 4 days, we're actually going to teach you, and then we're going to have a space for you to apply what you just learned, get it reviewed by the trainers and coaches. We're going to be working through a workbook. It's going to be amazing, amazing, amazing. Tickets are going fast, so check it out on only4days.com. And if you have any questions, just head over to susansly.com, send me a message, and we'll get your questions answered because I would love to see you there. It's April the 25th through 28th in Scottsdale, Arizona. Absolutely beautiful, gorgeous. You will love every minute of it. It doesn't matter what kind of business you're in. You could be a doctor, you could be an attorney, you could be a network marketer, a digital marketer. It doesn't matter what it is you do. This is going to be an event that's going to help you scale your business and create your own freedom. And isn't that what we're all about anyway? So let's get into how do we change our state fast. So I want to read some stats on stress. You know, nothing like opening up a training with some stats on stress. So it's great to see Bruce and Denise and my beautiful friend Kim. Hey, Delisa. Hey, Ryan. It's great to have you, and Teresa. Let's read some stress stats just to get us in the mood, shall we? So the first one is, these are coming from the American Institute of Stress. God love you, American Institute of Stress. I'm grateful I don't work there because I might find it very stressful, but anyway, they provide these stats. So 77% of people regularly experience the physical symptoms of stress. So physical symptoms of stress include things like burnout, fatigue, it could be acne, it could be lowered immune system, it could be all those things. 77%, it's crazy. 73% of people regularly experience the psychological symptoms of stress. So psychological symptoms, depression, anxiety, worry, fear, that kind of stuff. 33% of people report living with extreme stress. 33%. And I know there are some of you are my, friends. Some of you were not yet friends yet, but we're going to be friends. I know you've gone through a lot of life and had different things going on, whether it's divorce or illness, or maybe a family member passing, whatever it is, job changes. Those things are all stressful. I'm going to read you some more about stress in just a second, but let me get through these statistics. 76% of people cite money and work as their top stress. So one of the things I believe is that we really can create a life of freedom, and that looks different to every single person. One of the things I wanted to do in the life I wanted to design for myself was live my vacation. I was so tired of living in winter. I didn't want to wear boots and trek in the snow anymore. I didn't want to have to scrape a windshield. I did not want to have to put my kids in snowsuits, do all that stuff. And so we made a choice 5 years ago to move to Arizona because I had created a business that allowed me to have a life where I could live my vacation. And for me, that was freedom. So for you, it's something different. We all have different definitions. 48% of people report lying awake at night due to stress. 48%. 48% of people aren't sleeping. That causes relationship problems, immune system problems. Then you can't lose weight and you feel like garbage. 48% of people say that stress has a negative impact on their personal and professional lives. I think 52% of people lied in that one because when you're stressed, it's going to affect your personal and your professional life. That's the bottom line. I think you'd all agree. So stress is a big factor. And when we're under stress, would you think you procrastinate more or less? Right? You procrastinate more. And when you're under stress, do you think you give 100% of yourself or more like 10% of yourself? It's more like 10% of yourself. And when you are under a lot of stress, would you say that you shrink away from the things that you know are going to make you more money? Or do you move toward them? When we're under stress, we tend to shrink away from them, right? So we know that stress is a problem, but how do we, outside of saying, okay, I'm just going to unplug and I'm going to go on a yoga retreat and I'm going to fast for 7 days and then the answers are going to become clear. The reality is in business, sometimes we have to turn our state around like that. And in order to do that, there's a technique I'm going to teach today that it's my goal is going to help you as you go forward, because I know so many of you, like my friend Kim, who's here, she is building an amazing online coaching business. I am so proud of her. I know many of you have these incredible goals of things that you want to achieve. But, you know, sometimes when we're transitioning from, say, a job to owning a business, or maybe doing our business part-time to doing a full-time, and we maybe are juggling life and kids and family and 5 million other things, we can't afford not to be in that peak state, right? And so when something happens, we do have to turn it around. And so this is a technique I use myself all the time. Before I do, I want to talk about my friends Holmes and Rahe. And so again, if you're a subscriber to my newsletter, go to susansly.com. I will send you these notes from today. Now I am a week behind because, hey, I actually had pneumonia last week, go figure. So I thought, you know, I think everything happens for a reason. And I'm like, okay, well, there's a message. I got pneumonia. Clearly I'm meant to be teaching on this. Here we go, right? So I pulled these yesterday, actually, these stress numbers. So Holmes and Rahe did this amazing study, and what they looked at is they had this question: if every life event had an equal amount of stress attributed to it, and we could give it a number, at what number do we know people will become sick? And what they found was when the number hit 300 or higher, there was an 80% chance that people would become sick. So what Holmes and Rahe said, they said it's predictable. Like, you know, you have this much stress, you're going to get sick. It's not all in your head. It's real. So let me read you some of these because you may be going through them right now. So death of a spouse got 100 points. Divorce, 75. Separation was 65. Detention in jail. Hopefully that didn't happen to any of you, 63. Death of a close family member, 63. Major personal injury or illness, 53. A new marriage was 50. Being fired from work was 47. Even getting back with your partner was 45. That was apparently almost as stressful as getting married. Retirement from work, 45. Major change in health of a family member, 44. Pregnancy, 40. Sexual difficulties, 39. I can't believe I just read that because Facebook might be on this video now. We'll see, hopefully not. If you're auditing my Facebook video, please know I'm just reading Holmes and Rahe. And okay, where was I? Sorry. I spend a lot of time paying attention to what how Facebook chooses to allow things. And so anyway, just sorry, as an aside, changing work, 37, you know, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, if you want to, I'll send this out to you, but essentially what it comes down to is that the more stress you have, the more likely it is that you're going to have a tough time functioning. And when you are having a tough time functioning, you're going to end up procrastinating. You're not going to get stuff done. You're not going to move forward toward your dreams. Does this make sense? just nod and say yes, right? That happens. So how do we begin to turn this around? And I just want to preface this by saying, whatever it is you're going through, whether it's illness, marital challenges, or changing careers, or a shift in your business, you can turn it around. You are equipped, you are amazing, you are powerful. And when you have this technique I'm about to share with you, honestly, you will be just fine. You'll be able to turn things around like that. So let's go. So what I want you to do down the left-hand side of your page is I want you to write the following letters: C, T, F, A, and R. CTFAR. So this coaching technique is CTFAR, and it's used by a lot of certified life coaches. I am a certified coach. I don't practice one-on-one coaching. I just love that I get to use this technique in business, whatever it is that I'm doing. And I love really, being the light for people and helping people see their own power. My goal is not to be someone's guru. My goal is to empower someone to be their own guru. And so it gets me excited when I can teach you a technique like this so that you can go forward and just be your badass self and do what you need to do. So let's start. So the C stands for the circumstance. A circumstance is unrefutable. It is not conjecture. It is not your opinion. It is the real deal. So let's say your circumstance is that, let's say you make $65,000 a year, and that's the circumstance. That's a number. Oftentimes the circumstance is going to have a quantifiable value to it. The circumstance could be that you owe $15,000 in taxes. The circumstance could be that your spouse asks you for divorce. Your circumstance could be that you weigh 250 pounds. These are all irrefutable circumstances. So the circumstance is something we cannot change in 1 second. However, the T is something we can. So the T stands for thoughts. Now, in the lowest form of our personality, that's where our negativity lies, right? You know who you are and how you are being when things are a little negative for you and the thoughts you think. So thinking about this lowest form of your personality, what thoughts are you thinking about the circumstance? So let's say you owe $15,000 in taxes. Maybe the thought is, oh my gosh, I can't afford this. I don't have the money. How could I have let this happen? So what thoughts are you thinking? Or maybe when it comes to your business, maybe your revenue is 20% down over last year. So the circumstance is, my revenue is 20% down. My thought is, I'm not enough. I don't know what to do. I'm confused, whatever it is, right? So what are the negative thoughts you're thinking about this circumstance? Okay. And then the F stands for feelings. When you're thinking these negative thoughts, what are the negative feelings associated with the negative thoughts? So maybe the feelings are frustration, anger, anxiety, hopelessness. Have I hit any of the nail on the head, right? And then from that place of feelings, the A stands for activities. So when you're in this place of negative feelings, thinking the negative thoughts about your circumstance, what are the negative activities that you do in this place of negativity? So perhaps you procrastinate, avoid, gossip, you judge, you overdrink, you eat too much, you stay up all night, you do whatever it is you do. And then the R stands for result. So as a result of thinking the negative thoughts that led to the negative feelings that caused you to act negatively, what result did you get? Chances are you move yourself further away from being able to solve the problem. Does that make sense? So in the case of the taxes, let's say you owed $15,000 in taxes. Your thought is, oh my gosh, I don't have $15,000. What am I going to do? Your feelings are anxiety, worry, freaking out, fear. Your activities are, you procrastinate, you binge watch Netflix, you gossip, and the result is you don't come up with the extra $15,000 to pay your taxes, right? Makes sense? So almost everybody does this stuff, but here's the difference between achievers and those that don't achieve, and you can all achieve. Do you know in America, only 7% of the Forbes top 400 received any inheritance whatsoever to make their billions? Only 7%. So, what this tells me is that, 93% of the people who are self-made millionaires or self-made billionaires, they have the ability to do this, to shift their thought around a problem so they can think about it differently and come up with a solution. And that's what I want for all of you. So let's do another one. So write down CTFAR. So in this case, the circumstance is still the same. I owe $15,000 in taxes if that's your case, right? But here's what you can do. You can change the thought. And the moment you change the thought, that's when the miracles happen. That's where the solutions happen. The right people show up. Everything starts to happen. So maybe a thought could be, okay, I owe $15,000 in taxes, but if I brought on 4 more clients, that would help me pay at least 50% of that off. Or if I apply myself to my business over the next 4 weeks, I could get it all paid off. Or I could work with my CPA who could help me come up with a payment strategy so I could get this paid off. So what are some positive thoughts you could think about the same circumstance? And if you're having a problem, I'll give you another technique. If you're having a challenge with thinking positively, a great thing to do is to ask yourself what someone you admire would think in the same situation. So, you could be like, what would Oprah think in the same situation, right? As an example, what would Nelson Mandela think in the same situation? Someone who has been wildly successful, powerful, smart, amazing. What would they think in the same situation? Because that will help you in NLP. I'm an NLP certified coach. In NLP, that creates what we call an anchor, and that's going to help to anchor you in to a different solution. So then from a place of having these positive thoughts, what are some positive feelings that might arise from these positive thoughts? So if the thought is, oh, I could bring in 4 more clients, this would help to pay off 50% of this, what would you feel that would be different? Empowered, energized, hopeful, positive, right? And from a place of having these positive feelings, what are some positive actions you might take? Well, I would prospect more for more clients, right? I would reach out to people. I would really dig in, and I would create some funnels. I would, I'd follow up with past clients. I would schedule some more time to work on my business. And what would the result be? I'd pay off 50% of the taxes. I'd pay off all of the taxes, right? You can do this with any challenge you are having in your life right now. I promise you, I have used this time and time and time again. I just used it actually over the weekend. So I had been in bed with pneumonia. I haven't had pneumonia since 2014. Go figure. I had been at an event last week. I flew home. I did a half marathon. It was super windy. Wasn't feeling good the next day. And there I was last week, as president of an AI company. I'm a founder of a digital marketing agency. Plus I'm a speaker, mom of 5, a lot of life going on. Plus I have a network marketing business. And there I was in bed for almost 3 days, and I'm sitting there going, oh my gosh, I have all this stuff to do. And then the moment I thought I have all this stuff to do, then guess what? I started to think, oh my gosh, when am I going to catch up? And all these things. And then the feelings start coming, and it's like, oh my gosh, I feel exhausted. And I was like, stop. So I took out my notebook and I said, okay, here's the circumstance that's real. I have pneumonia. Okay, I have pneumonia. So when I thought about the negative aspects, oh my gosh, it's going to take a while to recover, the feelings, it all went negative. And guess what the result was? Then I didn't get much done. But here's how I shifted it. I said, I have pneumonia. It was still the same fact. It was still the same circumstance. But here was the thought that was different. My body's sending me a message. And that became very empowering. And the next part of the thought was, this is a great opportunity for me to shift. And another thought was, this is an amazing training I could do on Bulletproof Monday because I'm going through it and I'm learning it. And if I can add value to someone, if I can serve someone, it's going to help them. And my feelings, I started to feel actually euphoric. I started to feel happier. I started to feel more energized. And from that place, I created this training. I got a blog written. I'm taking a certificate course at MIT, and I got more of my MIT homework done. I had more quality time with my family. It was amazing. And as the result, even though this morning I'm not 100%, I will tell you, my friends, I am not doing too bad today. And so you can shift anything, my friends. And I'm just going to finish with this. You guys are powerful. You're amazing. You are capable. And whatever your business is, I just encourage you to use this technique to shift things in a moment. If someone calls you and, you know, they're talking smack to you, get off the phone, shift it in a moment. If you're, you know, you have set a goal for yourself, you're not there yet, use this technique. I promise you, I've used this so many times to achieve goals. Whatever it is that's going on, you can use this because you are absolutely amazing. So with that, if this has been helpful, I read every single one of your comments. I would love for you to comment. I would love for you to share this. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll read your comments. If you're listening to this on iTunes, I will, you know, obviously come over to Facebook, write out your comments. If you have a comment for me, you can always go to susansly.com, chat it in the Driftbot. If you have a question, if you want me to do a training on anything to do with marketing, digital marketing, mindset, just hit me up on a Driftbot. I have a bot on my website, susansly.com. Let me know. I will entertain it all. If you're looking for a keynote speaker, I do have applications for your organization on my website, susansly.com. I am booking now into September. So with that, go out there and rock your day. You guys are absolutely amazing. And I will be here next Bulletproof Monday. Goodbye, everyone.